So let's have a look at some terminology involving maximum and minimums, namely between local and global. So here we've got a curve. It's sketched over a domain where it stops at points D and E. So if we look across this curve, there are 3 turning points, or stationary points. Namely, we've got a sad face happening at A, we've got a happy face minimum happening at B, and we've got another sad face happening at C. So what we can say that is A and C are our maximum turning points, because these are stationary points, sad face. And we know that B is a minimum because it's a happy face turning point. Now, if we just take a look at the y value, so looking along the y-axis, if we look at the y value that this curve reaches as we go across the curve, C is the point at which it has the highest y value ever reached by the curve. So in this case, we call point C the global maximum point. So C is the global maximum point. So because the y value of C is the greatest amongst all the curve, C is called the global maximum point. But we also know that C is a maximum turning point as well. Now, in contrast, point A here, it is a maximum turning point, but it's not the highest y value across the whole section. So A is just a local maximum turning point. Okay, so A is then our local, because it's not the overall, it's not global. It is a maximum, and in fact, it's a maximum turning point. So C has the highest y value, so it's called the global, so the overall maximum at the highest point, and it is also a maximum turning point. A is a local, because it's a maximum turning point around its area. And then so if we look at the highest y value, we can also look at the smallest y value, which would then be point E, because that's the lowest our graph ever reaches within our domain. So point E is called the global, so the overall minimum point. It's not a turning point, it's a minimum point, because it's the point at which the smallest y value occurs. So it's the global minimum point. So E is the global minimum point. It is not a turning point. In contrast, we have that B is a local minimum turning point. So B is a local min turning point, because it is a turning point. It's a happy face, and it's minimum, but it's not the lowest y value across the curve in the domain.